To the brick and mortar business owner who's established, I would say if you jump onto TikTok, ditch your old conventional way of thinking. TikTok can be a six-figure thing if you want it to be. You can say I've made over $100,000 from TikTok.
Welcome back to BusinessTok, the TikTok marketing podcast for business owners and entrepreneurs who want real strategies to generate leads and sales directly from TikTok. I'm your host, Austin Armstrong, and I'll be interviewing real business owners from every industry that are leveraging TikTok to grow their business. You can connect with me on TikTok at SocialtyPro. Let's jump into today's episode. My guest today is Dom Bavaro, otherwise known as the Dadpreneur. Dom,
how are you?
I'm good, man. Dom used to be in the automotive business retail industry. He left that industry after he got married because he hated the hours and decided to start his own car rental business. That business crashed and burned right before the pandemic started, which ultimately led him to getting started on TikTok, which I'm fascinated to hear. Dom, I've been connected with you for years, brother, basically as long as we've both been creating TikTok videos. Thank you so much for joining me, man.
No, thanks for having me, man. When you said, hey, I'm starting a podcast, looking for guests, I was like, yeah, I'll definitely come on that. Because I think, again, you might have been one of the first couple people I followed. And I think I was probably someone that you followed earlier. We've been mutuals as long as I can remember. You came across my page with like a little website hack. And I was like, yes, I just must have more.
Yeah, your content's been amazing, brother. Dom is one of the best affiliate marketing channels on all of TikTok. Sorry, Adrian. Dom.
Yeah, Adrian, if you can hear this, you heard it here.
maybe I'll get Adrian on the show one time. I don't think I've ever chatted with him, but maybe
I'll tag him in the description. It's fine.
There we go. Dom, tell us more about your background, man. What led you ultimately to want to get started on TikTok of all platforms?
Okay, so what made me want to get started on TikTok was nothing else was working, and none of my in real life friends would see it. Actually, so if you want to start the story all the way back, my background when I went to college for economics and finance. So I graduated 2010, so it was like height of the recession, height of the financial crisis. Got the job as a financial advisor on Wall Street, Series 65. I held that. I hated it in the first year. It was just not something I enjoyed. So I was like, oh, this is out. And then of course, this was like 2011, 2012. Nobody was hiring for anything other than sales and marketing. And I was like, I don't really want to be a salesman all the time, but I'm kind of into cars. So I'll start selling cars. Why not? If I have to get a job in sales that doesn't pay, 30 grand a year, cause that's about what every job was paying back then. I got into the car business and I kind of took a liking to it, more of an inside sales than an outside sales job. But the car business is a ton of hours. I mean, you're spending 50, 60 hours a week at the dealership. It's not like you're outside sales where you're out meeting people in the world and networking. You are in a spot on a lot, bringing everyone to you. So when you're single and you've got no kids and you're going home to an empty apartment at the end of the night, it doesn't matter. But like the day that I got married, my wife moved in, it was like, I don't want to be here anymore. So it was, I was just like, I got to do something else. Like I was having a really bad month because of it, because I just, when your heart's not in sales, your heart's not in what you're doing, your performance is going to dip. Yeah. So I was like, I got to do something else, but I worked too many hours at the car dealership to get a second job or to kind of get something in transition. But I found an app called Hire Car, which is kind of like Turo. And I came across on Google and it was like, rent your car out, make some extra money. I was like, well, if the car's out and rented making money, I'm here at the dealership. I could do that. It's easy. Like I can rent a car out, and they go out and they find the customers online. And I was like, cool. So I bought one, and that car got rented like immediately, and it was rented for the entire month. And I was like, is this a fluke? So I got a second car, and then that one rented immediately for like the entire month. I'm like, now I got two. I bought a third. That one went out and that one got rented. I was like, all right, I'm on to something here. I can leave my job at the dealership. I've got proof of concept. I'm going to go all in. And I was actually got that fleet up to 15 cars and I was renting mostly to Uber and Lyft drivers. So that was my clientele. Like that was their, Turo kind of focuses on vacation rentals. Yeah. Hire Car was more on like gig economy workers. So if you want to rent a car for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Postmates, any app is out there and it requires a car, you can rent a car from someone like me, which was cool for a while until the market shifted. Uber and Lyft came in. Like I'm in the Philadelphia region, and Uber and Lyft weren't renting direct there. So I kind of had my nice little niche here. And it costs a lot to run a car 50,000 miles a year with the type of insurance required to rent. Not only is it rental insurance, but it's rental for Uber and Lyft. So I had all kinds of overhead. Uber and Lyft come in and they're like, they're big. They got VC money. Oh, we'll just rent for half the price and just take everyone out of business in the Philadelphia area. Okay, that's no good. And like, I just had my first baby. I had my first daughter. She was like 6 months old. And all of a sudden, almost like the rug gets pulled, but not really. I was like, I got to figure something else out, but I've got all these cars I got to get out of. I got all this liability. Can't afford daycare. And I was like, oh, this is where the dadtrepreneur comes in. Every day was take your daughter to work day. So she would be like in my truck with me. We going around picking up cars and doing all stuff like that. But it was to the point where I was just like, I can't do this. Like the liability was too much. People were getting into accidents. People were, wrecking the cars and not paying the bill. I was like kind of messing around with affiliate marketing online. But again, having the hours of being a parent and the car business, I was like, I can't really put time into affiliate marketing. But then I was like, well, I don't have the car business. I can't go out because, daycare is 15, 20 grand a year. I got to do this thing online. So I tried the Facebook organic thing. I tried the blogging, tried the SEO, but it's really, really slow to build, as I'm sure you know. Right? Yeah. SEO is not something we can just start and then 3 months later, you're making a bunch of money.
I wish it was. It's a marathon. It's a marathon for sure.
Absolutely. Look, I'm glad that I planted those seeds back in 2016, 2017 for SEO now. But at the time when you're like, I need to figure this out now, it was not the move. So I said, I saw some people on Facebook. I tried the Facebook organic thing. And it's just like, this is just not like, that's borderline and unethical, but it was just not for me. Again, too much time. So I saw TikTok. I saw a couple people on saying that they were crushing it on TikTok. So isn't that dancing kids app? Like I was literally making fun of it in Facebook groups in late 2019.
Yep.
But I was sitting there and I was like, I'll make an account. Why not? Okay. And I lurked probably from 2019 until November of 2019 until like February 2020. I said, whatever. I got nothing else going on for me. Why don't I just turn around and start making some videos? And I was like, but why are people going to follow me? Right? I'm a marketer. Right? I'm a salesman. I need to bring people in for a follow. I can't just post here, buy, because that never works. So at the time, that was right around the first round of COVID stimulus checks. And I was like, what if I can take $1,200 and build that into a business? That's going to be my story that I'm going to build my following around. So that was my first TikTok. Was like, here, this is what I'm going to try to do. Give me a follow. I understand how affiliate marketing works, but I really haven't had success with it. Let's try. Let's follow for the journey. We're going to see what happens. And then from there, I just kind of documented my journey.
Yeah. I'm curious how that video performed because, I've talked to a bunch of people so far on this podcast about how they sort of started. And most people sort of flounder at the beginning. They don't know what they're doing. They don't put out a well thought out video on who they're trying to reach, and they sort of figure it out along the way. But as somebody in sales and marketing, you understand the importance of knowing exactly who you're trying to reach, as well as that storytelling element, which is so powerful. So how did that first video do for you?
Well, this was like March 2020 TikTok. So you could put anything up there and get 1,000 views. But it did go to like 7,500 views.
Okay.
And I was like, and again, this is someone who like you post to YouTube and get 3 views in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Post a blog article, get 75. Then I was like, this is amazing. This is the most views I've ever had in my life. So I was like, okay, now this is the power. And I posted one the next day and that one got like 6,000 views. And then I think in those 2 videos, I was up to like 400, 500 followers, something like that. And I was like, I am definitely onto something here. Let me just keep going. So it was, and I attributed the amount of views to followers was because I had something that people had to follow to keep updates. There was an intrinsic reason to follow me. It wasn't just, this guy's going to teach me something. It's, I want to see what this guy does. Hit the follow button.
Now you've had tremendous growth so far. I think you're up to 123,000 followers last I checked, or just about there.
Dropped to 122.9. But who cares? Who's counting?
How dare they follow this man? I guess people just don't want to learn how to make money. They're lost. What are you going to do? Has it been pretty steady for you, or have you had a couple viral hits here and there? And tell me about that.
So for me, I've noticed that my audience, I guess because of the nature of getting started making money online, because I get a lot of follow notifications every single day, but the number always seems to stay about the same. So which tells me in my analytical mind, I'll see some days where I'm negative, which tells me that I'm bringing on followers, but I'm also losing followers. And I kind of attribute that to people are probably getting started and making money online, getting started. Anything entrepreneurship has a very high fail rate. So I'm thinking people initially follow, they'll try, they might end up failing, and they go, all right, you know, whatever, I'm done with this. I don't want to see this anymore. So it's always it's the same number of people, but it's not the same people. Because I see different usernames. Like you'll get, I'm sure you have them on your videos. Sometimes you see that same person on every video who's commenting and engaging.
Yep.
And that person, you'll see them. And then 6 months later, the names are like different in your comment sections. People you saw commenting every video 6 months ago, you don't see them there anymore now. Even though, and again, you're still getting the follow notifications, but the number is still the same. So it's not the same people. It's still new people are coming into your channel. But I am not I don't have crazy viral stuff. I think my brand is more of an acquired taste. I had a couple videos pop off to 1 million and they brought tens of thousands of new followers. But sometimes like my video about the one girl was saying how she was selling her pee and made $100,000.
I was just going to mention that you could sell anything.
You can sell anything, link in bio. Dude, I've got 50,000 followers from that. And my DMs got so weird.
So good.
That video.
So good.
I was just going to people like, I don't actually sell pee, but I'll show you how to market and sell. Like, but not that. I posted
$100,000 on TikTok selling pee, ladies and gentlemen. No, just kidding.
Dude, I mean, roll clip if you want. You got it queued up. But yeah, that was I own the Brambilla method hashtag. That is the #1 video on that hashtag. It's hilarious. Actually,
That's
Adrian's friend from college texted him. He like, who the hell is this guy? Came across my FYP.
That's so funny, man.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear your thoughts on, how do you get ideas for content? Does it just pop into your brain? Are you doing research ahead of time? Are you basing it on the comments that are coming in? Tell me what your process looks like.
Okay. So I wish I could tell you that my content was really well researched. I think I should have more of a content strategy. There isn't a huge strategy with it. But what I try to do is I interact in comment sections a lot. Like I spend way more time than I care to admit on TikTok, and I'll see trends in comments. So you'll see,
I'm right there with you.
Right? You're just like, all right, well, I got to at least make this productive use of this time. So I'll do a lot of comment replies. If you look at my video, probably in my last 20 videos, I want to say 15 of them are comment replies because they're easy. They're easy prompts to make a video from. And then it's a two-way conversation between you and your following, and you form that bond versus you just doing a trend trying to go viral all the time. So it gives your account more authority. So that's one thing that I always want to try to do is comment replies. The prompts that I just make, it could just be observations on trends of what's going on our little corner of TikTok. I'll give commentary on something. If there's a big event that happened, I'll give my commentary. Sometimes it makes raving fans. It also makes enemies. People will start making videos about you if you go against the grain. So I'm learning this week. If you've probably seen we're on that side of TikTok. That's another thing. And also if I do a case studies and documenting journeys and series are really good for growth because people like to spectate before they actually jump in and get their hands dirty.
That's awesome, man. I also love how you handle trolls in the comments. That there's so many different ways. So like due to the virality nature of TikTok and the sheer amount of viewers that you can reach right now in basically every industry, there's going to be a lot of positive, but there's always, of course, going to be negative, and there's going to be those negative trolls. And everybody really has their own unique way of responding to these trolls. You can ignore them. You can, if it gets really bad and bad for your mental health, you can turn off all comments I see on some videos. I personally love to prompt a question and ask them, why do you feel that way, to sort of, stir the engagement a little bit and work them to my favor, because I know they're going to come back and they're going to justify their trolly comment in the first place. Meanwhile, my video is rolling in the background over and over again. And I love that. You do video responses for a lot of those trolls. I'm curious why you do that. Is it just for fun, or have you actually seen a lot of success from doing that?
I actually have. Now it doesn't, the video responses sometimes will go viral. Like the time I texted my WhatsApp scammer, that popped off to like 75 or 80,000 views. That was a good one. But the video responses, people might not know the TikTok algorithm, that if you respond to somebody in comment with a video, it puts you on their FYP even more. Because it says, this person, you really like this person likes you. We're going to show you guys each other's content. So again, playing to the favor of you're probably going to draw more comments, because hate comments are just the same as good comments in the algorithm's mind. So you get the engagement, you get more views. But I do the video replies because they're fun. They're kind of cathartic to make. And when I first started getting them, like every new creator, and TikTok has made a lot of new creators, people who would never think to be an influencer. I hate using that word, but there's a lot of us now are influencers. You know, they've never thought about that before. So they've never dealt with that kind of hate and vitriol. And I've noticed that a lot of when it first starts happening, you're like, oh my God, people don't like me. What are people going to think? All these hate comments are going to ruin my personal brand. They're going to like you said, mental health kind of takes a toll. But then I realized, I look at some of the really big people like Mrs. Peterson, right? Rachel Peterson. She puts a lot of stuff out there, and she gets a lot of hate when she goes viral.
I'm trying to get Rachel on the show. She's one of the reasons I started. Oh my gosh, Rachel.
Yes.
I've exchanged that. All right. I digress. I want to get her.
No, Rachel, if you're watching this, we need you to come on. I want to be tagged when that episode goes up.
Yes.
But I noticed, when she gets a lot of hate, it doesn't affect, the hate that she gets, and how she does a lot of comment replies to trolls too. Yeah. And how she does it, it doesn't affect how her true raving fans feel about her. Mm-hmm. So I was like, the comments only hurt the creator if you let them. They're not going to hurt what your following thinks about you. And I'll tell you what, when I do those troll comment reply videos, the people who are the true fans love you even more, because you're actually saying what they're thinking. So it's definitely a bold strategy, but it does work out.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Everybody that's listening right now, try this strategy out, rather than just ignore them or let it get to you. And this is easier said than done sometimes, of course, depending on the comments, but take advantage of this. Hug your haters, if you will, is a great phrase in this space. Leverage them to your advantage, because most of the time they're coming from a place of self-pity anyway, right? They're sitting at home. It's always a non-profile picture, user always 7984321, right? That has zero videos, zero content on there, that leaves these responses on there, and they're purposely trolling. They're adding nothing to the conversation, yet they're adding to it, right? Use that to your advantage. Respond back to them, whether it's a video response, a regular comment response. Just go after it and see what happens. I think you take the power away from the trolls by doing that. I absolutely love that. And if they block you from a video reply, they're never going to leave a comment again. Yeah, and that person's gone forever if they do the first block. But it's funny you bring up the faceless user string of numbers thing. Like, I think that the anonymity factor is what makes TikTok such, I don't want to say toxic, but the hate comments are brutal on TikTok. Like for someone to leave a hate comment on Facebook, for instance, your name, your face, where you went to school, pictures of your kids, like they know who you are. You have to commit to being a troll on Facebook. TikTok, you just user whatever with no faces, private video. You can say whatever you want. So it's definitely a different kind of hate if you get those comments on TikTok. But again, people know this, and people don't care if you get them. So don't let them affect you. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the anonymity aspect, because I think this is something that really has helped a lot of people put themselves out there on TikTok. And it's almost funny. It's almost like TikTok itself doesn't recognize this. Right? Because they're always, I'm sure you get those notifications like sync it up to your phone so that you can connect with your contacts on here.
Deny every time.
And it's like, deny every time. It's like, this is not why I'm on here. This is absolutely not why I'm on here. I don't treat it as a social communication app. This is a tool for me to express myself and talk about marketing strategies for my business. And I think, maybe this is just coming from the perspective of a business owner and entrepreneur. But I've talked a lot of people that have the same opinion, that people have taken to TikTok because of the anonymity, because they don't want to connect with people. I'm curious, like, why TikTok is pushing that. Maybe they see a large amount of people that regularly do connect with one another, but I just haven't seen that perspective at all. I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Yeah, my thoughts on that. I'm thinking it's just a way for them to increase their user base, because a lot of times, like, social proof is powerful. And as a marketer, you'll know that if my friends are doing it, why don't I try it? And that's kind of like if anyone's on the Telegram messaging app, every time someone, boom, such and such is on Telegram, right? You'll get that notification. It's like,
WhatsApp.
I have it.
Too.
Yeah.
WhatsApp.
Yeah. WhatsApp. I'm not so much. I'm only on WhatsApp to text scammers, but I'm sure it's the same thing. But yes, I think that's just them to kind of grow their user base. But like you said, I don't see TikTok as a community building tool. I mean, that's more of something that's more like a Facebook or an Instagram thing where you're only interacting with your followers. I see TikTok more as a broadcast platform. Like you're not necessarily, like, the thing that drives me up a wall is when people do DM marketing on TikTok. And they're
now they're
one-to-one selling.
Yeah, they took the message requests away, which I
still have mine. I get them all the time.
Wow, from people you're not connected with?
All the time, yeah.
Wow. See, I haven't had that for almost a year, to be honest.
Really?
They took, so I am every account that we manage, we've only, you can only direct message somebody that you are both connected with, which is terrible, because before that, people were DMing me constantly on there, and it was a great, there's a ton of spam on there, but I was able to, siphon through it and find the couple of leads and direct them to, my Calendly link to book a call. But they took that feature away. So now I have to really push to send me a message on Instagram or click the link in my bio to schedule a call. So you still have access to DM requests.
Yeah, I'm special. Wow. I shouldn't ever update my app then, I guess.
Don't update your app.
Yeah, like you said, there's a lot of spam through there too. I mean, I like to again, as a marketer, try to sell at scale. So again, use your content, use your copywriting to make the sale. Rather, I mean, you're an agency, so you have a slightly different business model. You have a lot more personal interaction. Me as an affiliate and an info product seller, I don't need as much interaction with one-on-one clients. So if people ask questions, people ask a lot of the same questions. I make very detailed content to answer that questions. So if I get that question, usually it follows in an email sequence. Hey, boom, I made this great YouTube video that answers that question. Let me know if you have any other questions. And generally, I don't get a response, or I'll just get a, hey, that's awesome. Cool. I purchased. So you can kind of systemize that. But again, as an agency, you're taking on actual clients. So it's not, that model's not really going to work.
Yeah, there's a little bit more nurturing involved. And I do some affiliate marketing as well. But definitely the primary income source for me is acquiring clients, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what percentage of content that you create is pitching and promoting a service or a product versus more general oriented content for community or following building?
I try to do no more than 20% straight sales pitch.
Okay.
I mean, that is, the way I look at it, and my sales background was always when you interact with a customer, whether that be face-to-face on a car lot, or it be someone who follows and watches your videos. Every time you make a video or you have any kind of interaction where you don't ask for a sale, right? And a snail could be as small as hit the follow button. And then you don't ask for a sale, you're depositing change into a bank account. And every time you ask for something, you're writing a check. And if you keep trying to write checks, eventually those checks are going to bounce, and you're either going to lose the sale or the person's going to unfollow. You're not going to get the result you're looking for. So I try to make the actual straight sales pitch part of my content, a smaller part, and then I've been trying to go really big into edutainment, because people go on TikTok. They're not going there, man, I want to learn something. Let me open up TikTok. That's what YouTube is for. I don't know how to do this. Let me open up YouTube. You can go do pretty much a straight educational video. If you do something straight educational on TikTok, a couple people are going to really like it, but it's not going to go viral. You're not going to hit the FYP as much. So you have to do the trend videos. You have to do the the entertainment, but somehow tie it to your niche so it ends up on the right FYPs. That's probably a third of my content. A third of it is probably straight education. Here's how to do what. Usually that leads to go check out YouTube for the full video. And then there's probably about 20 to 30% of just straight, this is what I sell. Go to the link in bio, because you can't say link in bio.
Yeah.
And go buy it.
Isn't that so dumb that we have to like work around that a little bit? Like,
yeah.
Bink in Lio, everybody.
Yes. Bink in Lio or Schmink and Schmio. I hear the most creative one that I've seen is people point to a part of the screen and then they put that sticker there that says link in bio. And I'm trying that out on a couple of videos. We'll see how that works out.
That's smart.
It's crazy how we have to talk in code.
I know, it's ridiculous. I feel like I should get like an LED sign and just like hold it up at the end. It says click the link in my bio.
That is commission, or that's commitment, or just get a t-shirt that says link in bio.
Yeah. That's, oh my gosh, that's great. Might take you up on that. We're gonna sell some link in bio shirts together, Dom.
Yes. in black with the TikTok font.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna mock this up in Canva, put it on my Canva account.
Mm-hmm. Print on demand 100%. That's a template.
oh my gosh. I love this, man. I'm gonna actually do this. I'll let you know when I get the shirts and stuff.
Nice. I'll order one for sure.
There you go.
I'll wear it.
So how much time do you actually take to record your content as well? Are you just, when you get an idea, you're just whipping that phone out, recording, boom, 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 in TikTok app? Are you recording off app? Are you editing it pretty intensely? Tell me about your process.
Okay, so my process is shifted. When I first started with very limited time, probably having 3 to 4 hours a day, I would pick one day of the week and do batch recording as much as I can. And if you go back to my early TikToks, my lighting wasn't good. I was just talking into the phone. I wasn't really big into transitions. It was just boom, 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 whip them out. Because, back then, anything would go viral too. But it was also building that muscle of content creation, getting comfortable with just talking into the camera. It would take me 47 seconds to make a 40-second video back then, right? It wasn't that hard. As I got more and more comfortable content creating, I wanted to try things that were a little bit more complex. It might take me half an hour to make a 1-minute video. And it's very rare that my videos are under 30 seconds. I don't know how people do it. People can get so much stuff into a 10-second video. I'm like, I'm just done with my hook in 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So my videos are always 30 seconds to a minute. And it generally takes me a couple minutes to make each one. But it is now that I'm a full-time content creator. I can just whenever I get an idea, if I'm not in a spot where I can record or I have a good background, I'll just whip it out, record a draft, and just talk my idea right into the app and then save it as a draft.
Oh,
so it's like taking a note right there. And everything's been done natively inside TikTok. I'm not a record off app in CapCut and Premiere Pro. Is Premiere Pro? That's the Adobe one, right?
Yep.
I think, yeah, I don't do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Although my next project is going to be to syndicate and get on, like, I think what you said, was it repurpose.io? Is that one of the websites that you were finding?
Yeah.
That one, Vista Social. There was a couple ones that I was watching your page. I'm taking them all down because I got to syndicate because I'm seeing people go viral on Reels, on Facebook, on Instagram, Snapchat.
I will say repurpose.io is awesome. However, you can't connect it currently anyway to Reels or Pinterest idea pins, two things that I also push very heavily. So you can post it as a regular post on Instagram and a regular post on Pinterest, but not a Reels and not an idea pins, which are how videos go viral on both of those platforms. So it's a little frustrating right now. And it's just due to the open API that TikTok or that Instagram and Pinterest has right now. They just don't provide access to it, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Because then Zapier is another, you can build everything manually in Zapier. I got this, you may have seen it in my videos. I have a 6 foot tall by 4 foot wide whiteboard that I built. and it is full right now with a big diagram of where I want to post and repost everything. And I was like, I know I can do this with Zapier, but I don't have the bandwidth at the moment to figure this out. So that's good. And I think that filming off app is probably the key to that, because then you can drop it somewhere and have Zapier post. Use, like I said, using the open API everywhere. But it is hard to edit outside of the app. That's why I do everything in app, is because it makes it so easy to add captions and splice. And you mess that up, hit the back button and re-record. If you're doing that with the camera app and you're gonna have to upload that to your computer, it makes the learning curve a lot bigger for editing.
Yeah, I totally agree. I shoot within the TikTok app first, and that's really how I've trained my team to do everything too, because it just is so intuitive. It's the easiest editing app in app of any social platform. Like even Instagram, like Reels, when you're adding something, like I hate their when you add music in there, I hate their music discoverability. And I hate that you add it and it automatically puts the song 100% and it brings your audio down. And then you have to figure out how to adjust it.
Can you even adjust it?
Load it. Huh?
Can you even adjust it on Reels?
You can. Yeah, you can.
Oh,
but it's
okay. I've never had figured that out.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. It's not intuitive to do it. And then you have to add the song. It loads, right? And it takes a second to load, and then it shows it. And it's like, oh my gosh, it put my audio down to 0 and the song up to 100. You have to edit it and bring it down to a level that you think is okay. There's no sampling of it.
Oh my.
And then click OK. And then it takes a second to load again. And if you don't like the volume, then you have to do the whole thing over again. This is not a good process.
No.
Same thing with adding text on screen as well. Like for titling and repurposing and whatnot. It's so simple in TikTok. It is not simple to do that in Instagram. No. To add the title on there that displays for 3 seconds at this point in the video. You just don't really have that customization control. And you can do it like in an app, CapCut, InShot, Premiere, or whatever. But then you have to also worry about exporting that and the export time and then uploading it again onto another platform. TikTok has just made that process so seamless.
Yeah. I mean, also because that app was designed with that in mind. They were a short form video app first. Yeah. Instagram was designed as an image app. They're like, oh crap, we're falling behind. We got to throw something together.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like Reels was done to just catch up. Like they'll get there, but it might be 6 months to a year off before they're as easy as TikTok.
Yeah, I agree. And Instagram is just always trying to copy everybody else, right? Well, that's the Facebook way. We just
yeah, we'll see what works for other people, and then we'll make our version of it.
Yeah, and it's never as good either.
No. The only thing Facebook was good was, Facebook was like the first social network.
Sure.
Which Facebook is very good for gathering people. I mean, we got MySpace and stuff going on.
That's my origin story there. That's why I bring that up. That's why.
What'd you say?
MySpace is my social media origin story. So I have that.
So you grew up knowing how to code. I could never get on MySpace. I had a MySpace account, but I couldn't really code. So I had like this black screen with my face, and I had Tom in my top 8 and like 4 other friends. And I was like, all right, what do I do now?
Oh man, you might. I digress here for a second, but you'll probably appreciate this. We used to
listeners of a certain age.
Huh?
Oh yeah, listeners of a certain age.
I've just lost everybody under 30. We used to like code MySpace layouts, right? And then tweak the codes with like different backgrounds, and we'd sell those back in the day. So
that's the genius. Dude, if only you can figure out how to customize TikTok profile looks.
Oh man, that'd be sweet.
Imagine if you could have like a background on your TikTok profile that was not just plain white.
Or a profile song, bringing it back to MySpace.
Yes. I mean, TikTok's a music app. Hey, TikTok, if you're listening, that'd be phenomenal.
Let's go, TikTok. Customization of the profile page. Make it happen.
Yep.
So let's pivot a little bit into the business side of things. So I know you're monetizing in a ton of different ways. How are you actually monetizing it? Can you talk about that? Maybe all of the different ways that you're monetizing. Then we can kind of go into how your funnels work and how you're actually driving traffic to all of them.
Yeah. So my strictly TikTok, I'm monetizing pretty much just with the link in my bio. Right. I've done exactly 2 brand deals in 2 years, and they were both single posts. So I'm not big into the sponsored posts. I don't get a lot of those requests. I'm partially because I think of the content that I make. I'm not making, I don't want to say it's not brand friendly because it is, but it's different. Like, again, either here nor there, brands don't come up to me and say, hey, we want to pay you to make a post. I do things as an affiliate. That is how affiliate now info product owner, everything comes through the link in my bio. Like, that is how I make the money on TikTok. I am not in the creator fund anymore. I'm in, I'm out. I'm like, do I do it? Is the 4 cents a day worth it? Is it? No. So I'm not in a creator fund. What'd you say?
Just TikTok fix your ad platform. It's terrible.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much.
You don't pay creators anything. It's terrible.
No. So I'm 100% through link in bio. And what I try to do is I try to collect the email leads from the link in bio. That is my only way that I monetize. So I build an email list, sell to those people on that email list. And I'll sometimes rotate the offer that's in the link in bio. So I don't have the same thing over and over again. Which I need to have something that's just evergreen, that's always there. Because what will happen is I'll change that link, I'll make a video, and then I'll get a comment saying, hey, where's that thing that was there yesterday? I'm like, oh, all right, now you got to go to Instagram, or let me DM you the link that you can copy and paste from DM. But that's how I do it. That's generally how I do it. I'll always try to collect the email lead from the link in bio, from a post saying, I made this free thing, go grab it, link in bio, or get started, link in bio. Or I'll funnel people over to YouTube. And usually on a YouTube video, I'll offer something for free. They go to the link over through there. So that's generally the 2 main ways I'll monetize with TikTok.
Gotcha. And then, so from that email list, are you sending manual emails, or you have an automated sequence set up?
It's more of a hybrid. Okay. So if someone first gets on my list, there's a welcome email, which introduces me and my story. And then I have 3 to 5 emails about the front end product, whatever's in that link in bio right now. From there, it dumps them into a general list. And then I'll manually broadcast. I'll tell a story about just something that happened, right? Randomness. Somehow tie it back to a product. Anybody in that email who clicks on that product or clicks to hear more, they get tagged. And then they get sent down a 3 to 5 email sequence that's specific to the product they clicked on. So it's almost like I'm not selling everything to everybody. I'm only selling to the people who show a passing interest. Mm-hmm. So it's not fully manual, but it's not fully automated either.
Smart. And what are some of the products and services that you are selling to them?
So what I'll do right now, the biggest product now for me is the Brambilla method. It's a product I created with Adrian Brambilla back in June of 2021. That is where most of the business is coming from now, from my TikTok profile. And then from there, it's different softwares. I'm very big on Kartra. That's what I run my whole business on. I'll run through that. And then I also run through my affiliate website course, which is a free course, but I have affiliate revenue through HostGator, WP Rocket, and Thrive Themes, and Namecheap. 74 cents per domain that I get paid.
Big money.
But yeah, that's generally how I'll do that.
Very cool. And I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit, if you don't mind asking, just for all the viewers that are curious about how much money can actually be made from doing an affiliate marketing style channel like this. How much money have you made specifically from TikTok traffic?
Specifically from TikTok traffic that I can 100% attribute, which is not 100%. I can say I've made over $100,000 from TikTok.
That's amazing, brother.
Amazing. Yeah, it is. TikTok can be a 6-figure thing if you want it to be.
Absolutely. Now, has that, just out of curiosity, has that mostly been in the last, say, 12 months, or is that since the Brambilla method started, or has it been pretty even through, like, since you started?
So it's been pretty even. Certainly since I made the leap from affiliate to product owner, since the Brambilla method, I've definitely seen an increase in my income by definitely a large amount. But it's been, I was doing $60,000, $70,000 a year if you annualize it before the Brambilla method. So it was, selling Legendary. I'll name that there, because that is a good program. I know sometimes last June I was going against the grain, but it is a good program. So I was promoting them beforehand.
That's awesome, man. 6 figures is absolutely incredible. Congratulations on that. Everybody listening, this is potentially life-changing money. Like, Dom was in a position before this where he you basically hated your job, right?
Yeah.
You hated your job. You gave this a chance, and it has worked phenomenal for you. And every story that we're sharing on this podcast is life-changing. It's creating life-changing revenue. Dom, what advice would you give to the listener right now, the entrepreneur, the business owner that is hesitant about TikTok but wants to get started? What advice would you give them, and where should they start?
So to the brick and mortar business owner who's established, I would say if you jump onto TikTok, ditch your old conventional way of thinking. Because I had a call with TikTok ads. Or TikTok for Business. I think they've been rebranded a couple times. I think it was TikTok for Business when they first called me. They said, "What do we want to see? What would you like to see as a business owner on TikTok?" And I was like, "Well, I want more of the native organic features on the ad platform." Because the most successful business owners on TikTok are creators who happen to own a business, not business owners who happen to create content. So it's that fundamental shift, like become a character. I don't say become a character, but yeah, become pretty much a character on social media that people can follow and people want to relate to first. And then, oh, I happen to do this. I also happen to have a business doing this. And you're not selling, because I've seen ads that are just a product with 20% off, buy now, and they never do very well. Versus the storytelling and the brands that tell, like Duolingo, perfect brand account there. Like their little owl has become a character. Like I've never heard of Duolingo before TikTok. And now I will show my wife, look at what this brand account is doing, because they have the character. So if you're an established business, do that.
Yeah, I love it. I love Duolingo. They're Duolingo representatives. If you're listening, you're invited onto the podcast. That would be a dream guest for this podcast. They're phenomenal. Same thing with. I
would love to see a podcast where it's just you asking the owl questions.
It's just
and holding up signs.
Oh my gosh, that'd be hysterical. This is the only video only podcast episode. Duolingo.
But yeah, so now if you're an aspiring business owner, you're someone who's stuck in a 9-to-5, slightly different advice for somebody there. Just tell your story. Tell people what you're looking to do. Because I see a lot of people will come in fresh and they make their TikTok profile the guru. I will teach you how to quit your 9-to-5. I quit my 9-to-5. I hate, like, they start on the mountain even though they're still learning how to climb it. Mm-hmm. Instead, go the opposite. Go, hey guys, look, this is going to be my story. I hate my job. I want to leave it. This is how I think I'm going to do it, whether it be affiliate marketing, whether it be sneaker reselling, whatever, right? I'm going to try to start this business to leave my job. Consider giving me a follow. Let's see how it goes. And then you're going to start building that authoritative audience. And it's not about how much I can leave my job, how much I can make on TikTok. It's more about the story and connecting with your audience, and the money will come.
So well said, man. I was just thinking about this too, to your first point about talking to the TikTok ads platform. They used to have a slogan. I don't know if they're still using this anymore, but don't make ads, make TikToks.
Yes, which I remember that.
Is so good. It tells you exactly what you need to do to be successful on the TikTok platform. You can't sell over and over again. Lean into the platform, learn it, adopt it, model success.
Yeah, make TikToks that happen to sell something. Don't make an ad.
Yes. I love it, man. Dom, this was fantastic. So much valuable information here. So inspiring to hear your journey. And thank you so much for sharing it with everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. How can people get a hold of you if they want to follow you on TikTok, if they want to learn more about the Dadpreneur? Where would you like to send everybody?
So obviously it's a TikTok broadcast. Follow me on TikTok at Dom Bavaro. It's an easy my name. If this is the Zoom, it's going on there, right down there. It's that spelling. Or if you want on YouTube, it's linked in my TikTok profile or the Dadpreneur channel.
Awesome.
You'll find it right up. You'll see my face. I'm all over it. You can't mistake it for not being me.
I love it, man. I love it. Thank you so much again, Dom. It's an absolute pleasure, brother.
Thank you.